Listo.
Okay. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our debate on the topic of sustainable architecture. Today, we have two teams, one in favor of implementing sustainable practices in architecture, and one against. Each speaker will have 1 minute to present their arguments, and we will have 2 rounds in total. Please remember to be respectful and attentive. Let's begin with our first speaker from the affirmative team.
Hello and thank you. Well, sustainable architecture is not just a trend, it's a necessity in today's world. The construction industry is responsible for a large portion of global carbon emissions. And by designing energy efficient buildings, we can significantly reduce for our environmental impact. Sustainable architecture promotes the use of renewable materials, better insulation, and smart systems that help save water and electricity. It's about creating buildings that are both functional and responsible, protecting not just our environment, but also the health and well-being of those who live and work in them.
Um, Welcome to the meeting. I agree that the environment is important, but we also need to consider the economic reality. Sustainable architecture can be very expensive. Green materials and technologies often cost more than conventional options, and not everyone can afford that. Many small business or family simple don't have the budget for solar panels. Advances in solution or eco-friendly certifications and in perfect world sustainability would be the normal, but in the real world people need affordable housing and quick construction solutions.
That's a valid concern, but let's look at the long-term benefits. While the initial investment in the sustainable architecture can be higher, these buildings save a lot of money over time. They reduce energy bills, water consumption, and the maintenance cost. Moreover, sustainable buildings often increase property value and attract responsible tenants. So, in the end, you're not spending more, you're investing into something that pays for itself and benefits the planet at the same time.
The idea of long-term saving sounds good, but it's some people have the luxury to wait for those savings. In many parts of the world, especially in low income areas, people need homes now. They don't have time or resources to invest in technologies that only benefits them years later. Also, many governments don't offer enough support or incentives to make sustainable architecture a realistic choice for most communities. It's a solution that often only works for the weary of privilege.
That's why sustainable architecture must be adapted to different economy realities. It doesn't always require high-tech solutions. Passive design techniques like wood orientation or natural ventilation or using recycled materials are low cost and very effective. Architects today are trying to design smart, affordable, and green. The problem isn't sustainability itself, but the lack of education and awareness about how to implement in creativity and efficiently at a.
I agree that awareness is important, but in practice, sustainable options are still out of reach for many. Construction companies often prioritize speed and profit over environmental impact. Even if sustainable methods are available, they are not always chosen. The market still favors cheaper, faster solutions until there is a major cultural and economic shift. Sustainability will remain the exception rather than the rule.
That's exactly why we need to push for change. Sustainable architecture isn't just about reducing pollution, it's about improving lives. Green buildings offer better air quality, more natural light, and a healthier environment for people to live and work in. These factors have a direct impact on public health, productivity, and mental well-being. We should wait for the perfect moment to adopt sustainable practices. We should start making to change now, step by step.
I respect that vision, but we also need to be realistic. Sustainability can sometimes limit architectural creative or require compromise in design, for example. Focusing too much on eco-friendly solutions may restrict the use for certain materials or structural styles. Not every project can or should follow the same sustainable formula. Architecture is also an art, and we must balance responsibility with freedom in design.
Uh, thank you all. Thank you to all speakers for their interesting points so far. Now we will continue with the second round of our debate. In this round, each participant will once again have the opportunity to express their opinions of, or respond the opposing side. Let's begin.
In response to what was said earlier, I believe it's a mistake to see sustainability as something separate from affordability. The key is innovation. Architects and engineers are constantly finding new ways to make sustainable materials cheaper and more accessible. Technologies evolve fast, and what was expensive yesterday can be affordable today. Waiting for the perfect moment only delays progress. We must act now and lead by example.
I understand the optimism, but let's not forget that innovation often benefits wealthier countries and companies first. In place with fewer recourse, people face urgent needs like shelter, food, and jobs, not energy efficiency. It's unfair to push green architecture on communities that simply can't afford it. We should prioritize basic living conditions before pushing environmental ideals that require long-term thinking and large budgets.
That's why we must see sustainable architecture as a tool for social justice, not just environmental action. Green buildings can reduce energy poverty, offer healthier conditions, and reduce utility costs in poor communities. With proper investment and policy, we can make these benefits available to everyone, not just the elite. It's not about pushing dials, it's about improving real lives with better design.
It sounds good in theory, but the really is more complicated. Most governments still prioritize short-term solution and economic growth over environmental care. Even with investment, sustainable projects are often delayed by bureaucracy, lack of skilled labor, or lack of public interest. Until these barriers are addressed, sustainable architecture will remain a great idea, but not a practice one for the majority.
Challenges excite, yes, But that's not a reason to stop. It's a reason to educate in and inspire the younger generations. Future architects and engineers are already beginning turning with sustainability in mind. If we wait for the right condition to magically leap, we'll never move forward. Sustainable architecture isn't a luxury. It's a mid-century shift that starts with education, awareness, and commitment.
We should absolutely promote awareness, but again, awareness doesn't build homes. People in crisis situations after natural disasters, for example, need quick, cheap shelters, not experimental green designs. In urgent construction cases, time and cost are everything. Until sustainable solution can match that speed at affordability, they'll always be left behind in real-world applications.
That's where innovation can make the difference. They are already examples of emergency shouted about from recycled or biodegradable materials, fast, cheap, and sustainable. Sustainability doesn't mean complicated, it means thoughtful design that uses local materials, saves resources, and works with the environment, not against it. The future of architecture depends on how we respond to these challenges with creativity, not excuses.
I think everyone were wants a better future, but we must about turning architecture into a set of rules. Flexibility is essential in design, and not every project can follow the same green principles. We need to consider cultures, aesthetic, and context. Architecture must adapt to people, not force people to adapt to one system. Sustainability is a one approach, not the only one.
Thank you to both teams for your thoughtful arguments. Today's debate has shown us that sustainable architecture is a complex but vital topic. While it brings many benefits for the environment and society, it also faces challenges in cost, accessibility, and implementation. However, both sides agree on the need for innovation and thoughtful planning. Whether we fully embrace sustainable now or gradually, it's clear that the future of architecture must balance responsibility, practica- practicality, and creativity. Thank you all for your participation.